Hello my wonderful viewers, welcome to my platform. This is Linda's TV show. If it is your first time of coming across this channel and you like what you see after watching, please subscribe, put on your notification bell, set it to all notification. In that way you'll be able to get notified each time I upload a new video, even those without notification. Here we react to all forms of videos, international and local. Every Saturday by 2 p.m. we have our interaction section. You are free to call in to air your opinion about the happenings in our society. Invite your friends, share my videos with your families and colleagues. Do not keep this information to yourself. Myself, I will be sitting down here to watch this video together with you from the beginning to the end. Then we'll go to the comment section and leave our comments, our opinion about the video we watch constructively.
When you're older than somebody by 2 years, you say that person is a small boy, a small girl, as the case may be. It's very African. Yes. Thank you very much. Anybody who is unfortunate enough to have encountered Nigeria, at least from 1970, or should I say from 1966 as a matter of fact, should be very angry. My anger is wasn't generated spontaneously. It's something that came over many years and many decades of brutal oppression and repression of our people. Something that I witnessed as a child immediately after the war. How my village was turned upside down by the same Nigerian military. So the encounter in my house on the 14th of September of 2017 is nothing new. It's something that we've become accustomed to. The military coming into villages and doing whatever they like. Because in their eyes we're a conquered people. And when you're a conquered people, you have only one avenue, which is to fight back. And in most instances, the only fuel that you need is the rage and anger you feel, not against them, but against the injustice and the system of oppression which they have come to represent. Mine is more like righteous indignation. I'm not happy about the level of repression, the level of mediocrity, the level of poverty, the level of hopelessness and also backwardness, not just in Nigeria but across the entire sub-Saharan Africa. Okay. And it gives me a cause for concern because some of the universities that the leaders of the civilized world attended, we're in Canada today, most of the universities that they went to, some of those African leaders went to the same schools as well. So I'm beginning to wonder, when they taught the same subjects or the same discipline, why must things be different? Why must we be so backward in Africa? Why don't we have any pride, no shame, nothing? So the source of my anger is quite numerous. It's not just one. But the silver bullet for me is Biafra. The emancipation of the people of Biafra will put to bed most of these rather negative things that we've come to associate with black people and black mentality. So mine is way deeper than what other people see. The fact that we are the lowest people in the world by virtue of every human measurement or indices. We are the lowest of the low. The poorest countries of the world are in Africa. The most repressive, backward regimes in the world are in Africa. The most politically naive people are in Africa. That gives me a cause for concern, and that is why I'm very angry.
Prior to the movement, the IPOB movement, I followed you, I went back to study you, and there was a time when you were on the streets of UK charging other Nigerians, not actually carrying the Nigerian flag. So it looked to me like, I just want to be able to understand. I saw you then trying to defend Nigeria? And at what point did it for you where you said, you know what, I am done with these people?
In defense of Nigeria wouldn't sound quite right.
Okay.
I think that most people that refer to that video or that very gathering in London, which I organized, quoted me out of context. I arranged or I organized a protest in London,
Okay.
that encompassed everybody who claims he or she is a Nigerian, to campaign against or to speak out against what Boko Haram was doing, against the imperialist Fulani oligarchy. Most people came because they felt aggrieved. They said they were Nigerians and they wanted to come to be part of it. I consulted far and wide, and I spoke at that very occasion as well. It wasn't intended to convey any sense of patriotism on my part towards Nigeria, not at all. We were reacting to a series of events that shouldn't have happened in the first place. In this instance, what the Boko Haram people were doing to innocent people back home, especially the Igbos that were massacred in Madala, if I'm not mistaken. So that gave birth to it. And also, it served a very useful purpose, to gauge the sincerity of Nigerians towards fighting what was obviously a menace, an evil, more or less. As time went on, I discovered that the country was unsalvageable. Trying to campaign for equity and justice Nigeria-wide was an exercise in futility. That narrowing things down to your own people will be a far better way of doing things rather than trying to save those who are unsavable, so to speak.
During the Python dance, you were harassed, your members were killed, you were kidnapped, nobody knew where you were, your parents were tortured, your dog was shot. Why are you still doing what you're doing? Why are you not scared? What is driving you?
As I said, it is righteous indignation. I believe that the only people that could possibly make positive and lasting impact in the lives of black people, Biafrans, no other people can do it. Only us can in Africa. We have a divine mission, a purpose. The reason I tend to approach my belief in Biafra and what I do, or my tenacity, if you put it that way, to my reading of the promise of God on the lives of Biafran people. In other words, what we are doing is not temporal. It is spiritual. That I am the way I am is because God allowed me to be so, in order to fulfill this very purpose, in order to carry out this very mission. And that is why we are not going to stop, and that is why IPOB is virtually indestructible by man. And that is why I speak with every certainty and authority that Biafra will come, because I will never ever stop. Regardless of the obstacle, regardless of the attempt at inducement, regardless of the frustrations, regardless of the lies, there is nothing on this earth. If you bring me the sun and the moon, I won't stop until Biafra comes. Because I understand what Biafra represents. People don't. I do. That Biafra is the only singular hope for black people on this very earth. Without Biafra, basically there is no God. But I know there is, and that's why Biafra will come.
You sound very, very convinced in what you're saying. But let me ask you, and that's a little confusion. Has Biafra become a religion? And I'm going to ask you, I'm going to tell you why I say this. When IPOB is conducting their evangelism, and when you are gathered, at the end of, from time to time, you say things like "Ise," and I want an explanation, because some people think, are you trying to mix? Just let me hear from you. Explain to us why you have to say "Ise" and why you seem to adopt some kind of religious rites of the Jewish faith. What is IPOB turning into? Or what is it? I just want people to understand what is going on.
IPOB is a political, social, and spiritual movement. He say is what our ancestors used to say when they prayed. In terms of the accusation of Judaism, or should I say the coloring of Judaism, what we do, are people that don't quite understand what it means to be a Biafran. Before the white man came, there's a place called Arachubu.
Yeah.
In that Arachubu, there was a temple. Our ancestors used to go there. They used to send their first, every family would send their first son to go to Arachubu to go and study the scriptures. And that Arachubu, we used to worship Chukwu Hikabia. If you're familiar with the cultures of the B0MBER people, Arachubu for instance, and Ohafia and Dabre, but there's something called B0MBER warders, I'm sure you know that. Mm-hmm. If you listen to them very well, the first person or the first entity they call is Chukwu Hikabia, even before they go into battle in those days. Because remember that Arachubu was filled with Ibibio people, but they were driven out as the peoples came.
Yeah.
In Arachubu we had a temple. We worshipped only one true God. One true God. We circumcised on the 8th day after a male child is born. Yeah. The only other people that does that are the Jews. Exactly. We use the names we give our children to praise Almighty God in heaven. What is your name again?
That means God is good.
Who are the only other people that praise God with the name they give their children?
I know the Jews do that.
Absolutely. Because Jesus, which is Yeshua, means Jizaba. That's what it means. Which is an Igbo name, which is a Biafran name.
So, in effect, what you're trying to say is that IPOB, or the gospel of IPOB, is a gospel of going back to what Biafrans were originally, and not really about adopting another person's religion.
Absolutely. The talit that we wear is Akwamini. It's everywhere. If you grew up in the village, you see old people wear it in those days. Yeah. It's there.
Not my grandfather had.
Eri, that is mentioned in the Bible. There is a place called Omo Eri. The children of Eri. Where the Star of David was buried that the British found in 1952 and incorporated into their coin that they used in Nigeria. These things are there. They are historical facts, indelible. This idea that we should be ashamed of who we are, I find very pathetic. When a Fulani man pledges allegiance to Saudi Arabia and Islam, there is no question. But when we identify with our own people, the Jews of Israel, then there is a problem. I think there is something wrong with people that makes such distinction, not us. We are on the right path. And that is why I said IPOB is indestructible because the hand of God is in it.
Thank you. Do you see IPOB as a leading force in the restoration of Biafra, whereby you also accommodate other people who seem to be fighting for the same cause? Or do you see anybody who is not fighting on the side of IPOB as anti-Biafra?
If you're not fighting with IPOB, then you are misguided. I wouldn't call you anti-Biafra, but I will say that you're doing it the wrong way. And that is why there is no preeminent movement of this sort that Elohim has managed to build in IPOB anywhere in the world. I am in Canada. I'm not sure there is any other so-called pro-Biafra group that can tour the world the way that I do and be received in every country with such enthusiasm as I have been received, not just in the United States of America, but also here in Canada. These are some of the pointers and factors that one needs to look at before trying to judge. People sometimes get up in the morning and say, I want to form a movement. I never wanted to lead IPOB. I never started off to form any IPOB, but it was created by the Almighty himself. And here we are today. That very promise of Biafra restoration, in truth and in every honesty, is what we pursue. Others may try, but they can never be like us, because we have the key.
Recently, some other groups, some other tribes, I don't know the authenticity of it, but it's been circulating that some people are trying to also campaign for their own secession or independence from the Nigerian from Nigeria as a country. Can you speak to that?
I can, insofar as I say welcome to them. They were those at the forefront of the smear campaign to discredit IPOB, to tag me a madman and all the rest of it. But after about 7 years, they've come to their senses. They've now realized that IPOB and its leadership has been right all along. Now, that thing we saw 7-9 years ago, they're only seeing now. So we are the visionaries. We see things that others cannot see. And that is the good thing about IPOB. Eventually, they'll also come to agree that Buhari is dead and buried in Saudi Arabia, that the young man, the 45-year-old that you're seeing there, heavily made up to look like Buhari, is indeed Jubril Amini Sudani from Sudan. It may take time, but the truth will be revealed. That I can assure you. We see things that people don't see. Not because we're any different or exceptional, but because we have that very gift. Because Chukwu Gikabia is in charge of IPOB. I'm not ashamed of saying it. When I get interviewed by Europeans, by other media outlets in the West, I tell them the same thing. Without God, Biafra cannot come. As simple as ABC. If those seeking to push us towards the realm of, secularity, so to speak, doesn't want us to be secular, away from all these things. Then I ask them, why do you name your children Chukwude? Why must God be central to everything that you do? Why don't you name them something like, who put the right man as a stone and the rest of it? So we cannot deny who we are. It's about time we stood up and be very proud of our heritage.
Thank you so much. I know you've had a very busy day. I don't want to keep you, but can you plot for us what is the trajectory? Where is IPOB going to?
We're heading towards freedom.
when do you think this will come?
It depends on when the time is right. It's not for us to decide. Our duty is to keep pushing. To keep pushing. And that I assure you we're going to do until Biafra is restored. We cannot stop. We cannot seek to slow down what they're doing. We are going to continue until we succeed. Nothing can stop us. We don't know when, but it's not going to be long.
I'm going to ask you a question that I'm not sure I'm going to get an answer to, but permit me to ask you, because it's a big puzzle. Yeah. The last time during the what was it, Python dance operation, the last time we saw you was you were outside. You know, there was a video of you talking about how, look at what they did to my people, and then we saw another video of bombarding of your house. You know, we didn't see you, we didn't hear from you, and the next time we were to hear from you was in Israel. Can you tell us what happened between that time?
I was taken away by my men. I lost a bit of them.
Sorry, can you say that again?
I was shielded from the onslaught of the enemy that resulted in the death of my men. And I sustained injuries. I was taken away from my compound and secured somewhere, and then made my way to Israel.
So you guys heard it for the first time on Worship Media, what actually happened to Nnamdi Kanu after the Scorpion Dance invasion, because it's been a big mystery, but today we've revealed it to you. So I feel privileged that you're actually talking about it like this, because there are so many conspiracy theories about it, and I personally was very worried when B0MBER, who I must commend, is a very fantastic human being, because even though I was not a member of IPOB, the way he handled things here, and I confronted him with the question when he was here. I said, "Where's Nnamdi Kanu?" And he just said, "Chidi, why don't you go ask the people that bombarded his residence?" So, but when you finally surfaced in Israel, it was a big relief to a lot of us here. I want to let you know that there was a day, you remember, I called Jerry, I called Emenike, I called Fabian, and we're all crying on the phone. It was like, told them, man, I'm not sure this guy is alive. And that's how passionate all of us are here. And we all have this Biafra in our heart. I'm a child of the Biafran War. I was born 1969, the day they bombed the Elizabeth Hospital in Umuahia. I've said that story a lot of times. My mother, they just removed me from my mother's womb and kept me in a crib. And while the doctors were stitching her up, the jet fighters came, and then they started shooting. Yeah, shooting everywhere. And the doctors abandoned my mom, and she clutched her tummy, which was still open. She rolled up from the theater, went and dragged me down from where I was and lay over me while all that was happening, until the doctors that survived, because a lot of them were killed, until they came back and continued. So that's why the Biafran story is something that I don't joke with, and that's why I'm passionate about that. On behalf of Worship Media and all of our followers, I really want to thank you for what you do. We may all not agree 100% on everything, and I think there's room for that, but the passion is the same thing. Like Tim Okafor had said before, I contested for governorship under African Action Congress, but that was my way of trying to also show resistance with what was happening back home and my displeasure. But I want to really thank you for what you do. And I want to pray that your mission will be successful, and we will continue to support in whatever way possible. And now, a lot of our viewers said I must ask you about the story that was online, the video that circulated. Yes. But you'd be surprised when the video came out. Instead of there being a lot of negative things about it, a lot of our female viewers just said, "Oh my goodness, they never knew you had that soft part." Yes, you are very, very romantic. But would you want to say anything about that video? Was it fake? Was that really you, or was it photoshopped?
No, it's me. It was in my phone that was stolen in 2013 that found its way into the hands of DSS, and they wanted to embarrass me. But we've proven to them that nothing like that can ever. It doesn't matter what people do. Seriously speaking, it doesn't matter what they come up with. We just continue doing what we're doing. It was very low of them to do it, but I also thank them for doing it, because at least now, I'm sure most people that didn't know me before, now they know. Most people that never knew how beautiful my wife was, now know how beautiful she is. So that's the thing. So there's always a silver lining somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll keep trying. Try all these nonsense now and again, but we continue what we're doing.
Yeah. And thank you so much. And a lot of people don't think that, see, that man is always shouting, that man is always. I mean, to see you this close and see that you're a handsome man, and then you're calm, and you're actually soft-spoken, it's all very surprising to me. But I really commend you for that, and thank you so much for coming to speak with us on Worship Media. Thank you, and please keep doing what you're doing. We support you in every way. We're inspired by what you're doing, and we'll continue to assist every way.
Thank you so much, my wonderful viewers, for watching this video together with me from the beginning to the end. Like I said before, if you like what you see here, if you like what I do in this platform, as you have finished watching this video, please hit that red button that says subscribe and put on your notification bell to all notification. In that way, you'll be able to know when I upload a new video. Share my videos, leave your comments in the comment section constructively. Until I meet your way again in my next video, I still remain your Linda's TV show. Bye-bye.